Hey everyone, welcome to Judging for the Win. I'm Dave, and this is my daily ruling. Today's question was suggested by a viewer. Thanks to Odds with Clay for this one. Amy controls Blood Moon, and she plays Ashaya, the Soul of the Wild. What happens? Okay, so with these continuous effect style questions, the first step is always going to be to decide what order everything applies in. So we'll take a look and notice that Ashaya's ability that turns everything into a forest and Blood Moon's ability that turns everything into a mountain, both of those are type, subtype, and supertype changing effects, so they apply in layer 4. Ashaya's ability that sets its power and toughness applies in layer 7, which is when power and toughness changing effects happen. So in layer 4, we have two different continuous effects that want to apply. Ordinarily, the tiebreaker would be timestamps. However, let's notice here that if we apply Ashaya's ability first, then that's going to turn Ashaya itself into a non-basic land, and therefore Blood Moon will now apply to it. Because applying the Ashaya's ability changes the number of objects that Blood Moon's ability applies to, we can say that Blood Moon is dependent upon Ashaya's ability, and therefore Blood Moon will be applied after that one. This has some important consequences. Another important thing to notice is that Ashaya's ability says that stuff becomes a forest in addition to its other types. That means that it gets to keep all the existing types and abilities. However, Blood Moon's ability does not have this effect on it. And so what that means is, because Blood Moon's ability does not have that text, it takes away all the abilities that the cards it applies to have. Therefore, when we get to layer 7, Ashaya is not going to have its continuous effect that sets its power and toughness, because it got taken away during layer 4 when it became a mountain. Now, that means that we're going to be in a really awkward situation when the game is trying to decide what the power and toughness of Ashaya is. Recall from our conversation that we had a couple of episodes ago that if you have a creature with a star power and toughness, it is not going to be able to determine the power and toughness without that ability. And in that case, the game is just going to use 0 as the default value for any asterisks that it's not able to determine the value of. So after all this stuff happens, Ashaya is going to be a 0/0 creature, and unless there's some other thing keeping it alive, it's going to be put into its owner's graveyard the next time state-based actions are performed. Really awesome question, and a really interesting interaction. Definitely not an intuitive one. And that's all I have for you today. How did you do? Join me again tomorrow for another daily ruling, but until then, I hope you have a great day.